So the next, I think, like natural place for us to go in the story as we're going through these daily devotions during Holy Week would be the trial of Jesus. Um, but we're actually going to skip ahead um, because we covered the trial in worship. There was a sermon about it. At this point, I believe it's 2 weeks ago. So the sermon for April 3rd. And if you want, I would encourage you go ahead and listen to that maybe on your way to work or whatever. If you download the Faith Life app, you can listen to sermons kind of like podcasts in the app. But what I want to look at for our devotion today, for this devotion, is the crucifixion. And this is Mark 15, starting at verse 21. It says, "They compelled a passerby, Simon of Cyrene, who was coming in from the country, the father of Alexander and Rufus, to carry Jesus' cross. And they brought him to a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull. They offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him. They divided his garments among them, casting lots for them to decide what each should take. And it was the 3rd hour when they crucified him. And the inscription of the charge against him read, 'The King of the Jews.' And with him they crucified 2 robbers, one on his right, one on his left. Those who passed by derided him, wagging their heads and saying, 'Ah, you who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself and come down from the cross.' So also the chief priests with the scribes mocked him to one another, saying, 'He saved others, but he can't save himself. Let the Christ, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe.' Those who were crucified with him also reviled him." We're diving deeper into the suffering. Like, he's being mocked, he's being reviled, his clothing was all stolen, right? He's dying, he's literally dying, and he wasn't even special. The Romans went ahead and took the opportunity to crucify him along 2 other criminals, right? No one believes in him, no one stuck with him. And I think this is fascinating. It says, "Let the Christ, the King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." And what they don't get, and I really hope that after the events of the resurrection, that these chief priests, these scribes, I hope they were touched by the gospel through the ministry of the disciples in the early church. But what they didn't see is that was what he was doing is what they needed to see and believe. Because what he was doing there was suffering the punishment for us. He was atoning for you and for me on the cross as he was dying. That's what we believe in. We believe in a Christ who died and, what's more, was raised 3 days later. So we say, "Come down from the cross that we may see and believe." He did one better. He walked out of the tomb so that we may see and believe. And that's the devotional thought. That's what I would like to put on your heart, put on your mind to reflect on today. If you have comments, if you have questions, please put them below. And regardless, brothers and sisters, go in peace. Serve the Lord. Thanks be to God.